Ever feel like you are trapped in a story that you didn't write? Like there is inner voice constantly telling you who you are, what you are capable of, what you should be doing. That voice, that sense of I, that's your ego. And what if I told you that it's not entirely real? Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the neuroscience of ego. We will explore how your brain constructs this sense of self, why it does it, and most importantly, how understanding this can completely transform your life. This is some mind blowing stuff, so stick with me. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Harshoza and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, we explore the intersection of mind, meditation, and neuroscience for personal growth. Today's topic is something that has been misunderstood for ages: the ego. In everyday language, we often associate ego with the arrogance or selfishness. But from a neurological perspective, it's something entirely different. It's fundamental part of how our brain works, and understanding it is the key to unlocking your full potential. In my previous video, What Are Thoughts? We explored the nature of thoughts and how they arise. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out after watching this video because it provides a valuable foundation for what we will be discussing today. Imagine a super smart AI. Every time it needs to make a decision, it has to analyze the entire code, past data, and everything. It would take forever. A much more efficient way is to create a core file, a set of basic instructions that define its role. Our brain do the same thing. The ego is essentially that core file, a readily accessible set of information that defines who we are, making everyday decisions and interactions much faster and less energy consuming. The main player in the ego's construction is the prefrontal cortex or PFC. Think of it as brain's control center. Within the PFC, we have two key areas: the dorsal prefrontal cortex, dPFC, and the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, vmPFC. The dPFC handles short term here and now information, like what you are currently doing or what you ate for breakfast. The vmPFC, on the other hand, is all about you. It stores long term information about your identity, your memories, values, relationships, the things that you love, and the things that you hate. It's like your own personal profile within your brain. Here's a cool trick for students. If you are struggling to remember something, try relating it to yourself personally. This engages your vmPFC, making the information stickier and easier to recall. The ego starts developing in early childhood. As babies, we are bundles of sensations, not really understanding where we end and the world begins. Then we learn our name. We start to connect it to our body and our experiences. Our childhood environment, how we are treated, the messages we receive, all of this becomes the foundation of our ego. If you grew up in a supportive environment, you develop a positive sense of self. If you grew up in a stressful and fearful environment, you may have developed limiting beliefs and low self esteem. Now, this is crucial. There is a two-way street between your ego, your thoughts, and your actions. How you identify yourself shapes how you think, and how you think shapes how you act. But this also works other way around. Your actions and your thoughts can reshape your ego. Let's say you want to get fit, but you keep giving in to cravings because you identify as a foodie. If you start thinking and acting like a fit person, your ego will eventually catch up, and these cravings won't be as strong. This is some powerful stuff, isn't it? When you are not actively focused on something, your brain activates something called the default mode network or DMN. This network is all about self reflection, mind wandering, and revisiting your personal stories. It's like your brain's autopilot for self related thoughts. And these stories, guess what? They reinforce your ego. So, how do we change these stories? How do we take control of our ego? Well, research shows that meditation has a profound impact on the default mode network and the prefrontal cortex. Regular meditation practice can calm the mind, reduce negative thoughts, and give you more control over the stories you tell to yourself. And to help you get started, I have created 5 free guided meditations available on Kevalia website. The link is in the description below. These meditations are designed to help you calm your mind, become more present, and start to observe your thoughts and ego without judgment. I highly recommend checking them out. Here's the real mind blower: the ego is not a real thing, it's the construct of your brain. The feeling of separate, permanent I is an illusion. This is what many spiritual traditions have been telling us for centuries. Most of our sufferings comes from attaching to this illusory me and mine. We fear losses, rejections, death because we think it's going to take something away from us. But if we understand that this us is a constantly changing construct, then we can start to let go of these fears. So, what does all this mean for your daily life? Understanding the neuroscience of ego can have a massive impact on your relationships, your stress levels, and your overall well being. When you realize that your ego is just a story your brain is telling you, you can start to observe it without getting so caught up in it. You can become more compassionate towards yourself and others, and you can make choices that are aligned with your true values and not just something that satisfies your ego. This is just scratching the surface of this incredibly complex topic. But I hope this video has given you a new perspective on what the ego really is and how it impacts your life. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on ego? How it has been limiting your personal development? How it has been impacting your relationships? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss my future videos. And don't forget to check out my previous video on what are thoughts and the free guided meditations on Kevalia website. The links are all in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.